All right, go ahead and introduce yourself.
How y'all doing? I'm Anthony Hingle Jr. Currently working at Voice of the Experience. Actually been working at Vote for the last 3.5 years. Vote is Voice of the Experience. Um, we kind of the voices for people that doesn't have a voice, people on the inside, people that's on the outside that's pretty much sleep that haven't been awakened to certain things that's going on in their communities and other things. Um, um, I'm also an ambassador for the Visiting Room Project, which is an organization, a program that houses oral history of incarcerated people, was formerly incarcerated people, because it was initially started as filming and interviewing lifers, people that were serving life sentence. But lo and behold, who would know that many of us would have been coming home at the time of the interview? You know, a lot of us was under the pretense that we was gonna die in prison. You know, but since then, actually, a lot of us had made it home, men and women. So we kind of travel with the organization as ambassadors, trying to pretty much bring awareness to, to the world about second chances, and that people change, people grow, they mature. People aren't the same people they was when they committed their crimes, or things that they was accused of or charged with. Um, I also sits on the board of advisory for the exhibit, The Captive State, Louisiana and the Making of Mass Incarceration, which is actually the exhibit in the Historic New Orleans collection in the French Quarter. It's a free exhibit. If you're looking for something to do, it's it's a worthwhile tour, worthwhile exhibit.
Um, Tell us a little bit about your background with the Mardi Gras Indians.
As you can see, I bought a few pieces here today to my job for this interview. And as far as my background with Black Mass and Indians, I would say I actually started straight out the stroller. I think when I was a year old, that was my first year suiting up. And it's pretty much like that throughout my family. Once you're walking or you're out the stroller, you're pretty much putting a suit on. Coming up under my father, the legendary, retired but legendary, living legend, Flag Boy Meade from the original Yellow Pocahontas. You know, first flag, gang flag, whatever you want to call it. But coming up under my father, it was something that he had did, I guess maybe for 2 decades before I was born, and me and my little brother, we just jumped in the mix of the flow of things. It's a family tradition. Um, Pretty much did it till I was maybe 15, 16 years old. Kind of got sidetracked for a second and stopped, and then came my incarceration. But the whole while I was incarcerated, I was actually thinking about coming home. Trying to put that suit on again for my family at least one last time. My father, my mother, my brother, my family. Just for the whole family. Let them see me suited up all over again. It's pretty much my father. He kind of like his old age went to setting in on him. His illnesses went to setting on him, and he had to retire. But he was pretty much keeping the tradition in the family with my children, grandkids, my cousin's children. One year he actually amassed about 18 kids. Had their own little gang. So I guess you would say it runs in our blood. Uh,
And this was your first time participating last season?
so 20 Mardi Gras 2024 was my first year suiting back up. I hadn't been home like 3 years, and I hadn't finally put it in the mix of things. I had to kind of like settle down and get situated being home. But I honestly must say, I mean, I done been home. I done been traveling with work, traveling with pleasure, and doing a lot of other things since I've been home. But it wasn't until I actually put that suit on that I felt like I was in my element, that made me actually feel like I was really truly home, you know. And what was supposed to have been a one time thing, the family ain't gonna let me stop. other Indians that came up under me that watched me as a kid parading Indian that's now parading. They're not gonna let me stop. So I'm actually working on my second suit, you know, and it's coming along pretty good. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the suit and what the theme is?
All right, well the theme is before I can even give it a theme, everybody else gave it a theme. You know, they would call it the jungle suit. You know, you would be walking down the street and you hear people say, "Man, this man got the whole jungle on." And you know, but the thing is, I get that from my dad. You know, some people would say that's man, that's 5 different Indian suits, man. You know why? You know, you did so much. That's how my daddy did it. He always told me, you're gonna do something, do it right. You can't do it right, don't do it. You know, so I wouldn't take one animal and just scatter them out all over the suit. You know, I think I had maybe 6 or 7 different animals. I mean, from the cobras on the boots to the lion on the apron, center apron, you know, to the elephant on the back, to the leopard on one cuff and the panther on the other cuff, and the eagle on top of my head. You know, so I think that was maybe like six different animals. What a combination of Indian faces. You know, many people done did Indian faces on their Indian suits, but I honestly could say I don't think nobody have actually done it like I had did them. You know, they weren't small faces. They was nice size face, almost human sized faces, and it was if there was 9 Indians, they all were 9 different looks. Wasn't none one in the same. You know, they had their own little hair. You know, their own little plaits with their little pieces on their plaits, their little crowns on their heads. You know, so just wanted something to be different, something that stood out. You know, and it did.
For people who are less familiar with the Mardi Gras Indian tradition, like how did your family get involved? What does it mean to your family? Why do people continue to participate in the tradition?
I think for most people, it's not just a family tradition. It's almost like a community tradition. I mean, because I think that's how my father got started. And it was just something that was going on in the community when he was young. And you know, it's almost like when you coming up as a kid, you know, you would see some kids want to be athletes, football players. You know, lunchtime they would probably be playing football or basketball. But for us coming up in the community, well, Black Mason Indian was so dominant or so populated. You know, for us, for lunchtime, for recess, we'll be playing Indian rather than playing basketball or playing football. You know, so it was like, you know, you see this as a kid and it's something that you want to participate in. But once you start participating in it, you know, after a few years, it's like it start getting in your spirit and your soul. It become like you know, a soulful thing to you, you know.
What does playing Indian mean or look like?
Um, but you got different position in Indian games. You know, you would start out from the front. You know, you had a wild man. You know, the wild man is really what keeps the tribe kind of like composed, like you know, keep them organized, keep them together, and he kind of keep the crowd to you know at bay as well. Then behind the wild man, you would have the spy boy. You know, the spy boy is supposed to kind of like take lead, you know, jump out from the tribe and, you know, go scout things out, go look for, you know, other Indian tribes. So it won't be like a tribe would just be approaching you all of a sudden and you don't even know they right there lined up to, you know, to meet your tribe, you know. The flag boy was somebody that kind of stood in front of the chief, you know, almost like a mini chief or something, but the flag boy suit would be almost as big as the chief suit. And you know the gang kind I mean the flag kind of like controls the gang as well, you know. And then you got the chief, then you might have a second chief, third chief, a chief council, you might have a queen of the chief, you know, you might have a queen warrior, warrior queen, you know. And so it's so many different things, but when you speak of plain Indian, it's like this spy boy from this tribe gonna meet this spy boy from that tribe, and though they gonna talk they fight, you know, the real fight is really in the work or the craftsmanship of the suit. It's really about the suit speaking to the other person. This is my work right here. This is what I put into this here. You know, I don't care what you did to your suit. It's not competing with this suit. Really, you ain't supposed to be standing in front of me because your suit don't equals what my suit equals. But me myself, I kind of like I appreciate every suit. I mean, even if I don't feel like it's pretty enough to stand in front of me, not trying to be contradictory, but because I'm always feel my suit is better than yours. But I'm appreciate the work that the person took the time to put into their suit. So everybody's so different. Everybody's style is different, and you probably never see two suits looking the same. But that's plain Indian. Letting your suit speak for itself. If you want to add a few little words, trash talking, that's in it too. I'm prettier than you. I'm the person they came to see. Stuff like that. Oh, that's plain Indian. You know.
Why are you known as the original spy?
Well, because like I said, most of the people that's in my neighborhood now, that's parading Indian, they were pretty much younger than me or under me. They probably weren't parading even back then. And like I said, it was kind of like they kind of looked up to me and my brother, my dad. So it's kind of like I've been gone for a minute, and when I come back, it's a lot of new people into this here. Still some family, but they're still new to it under me. So it's kind of like I'm the original spy boy. I was here before whatever, before whoever. So it would be classified as the original spy boy. Uh,
Can you tell us a little bit about your suit and like the pieces and how long they took to make, how you, what materials you used, how you put that together?
this is one of the cuffs. Indian face wearing an animal, a leopard. For its times, man, I can't put a time on it. It takes time. It's one bead at a time. You see all the beads on there. See all the bead work. So that's one cuff, a leopard. This is another cuff, a panther, uh, on the Indian face. Again, like I said, none of the Indian faces are the same. And got his little own little hair with little pieces. Uh, this is a shield with two different Indian faces. Dealing with his Indians since his Indians. This is a TP, Indian TP. This is an Indian totem pole. This is one of my boots. There's only one because both of the boots are cobras. Both of them look exactly the same. But for its time, it's a lot of time put into it. I mean, if you want to look pretty, you want to be pretty, got to take your time with it. It's hours and hours and hours. With the TV off, concentration. Listening to some Indian music, getting in that spirit, in that mood, in that zone, and just going at it. This is my stick. Two Indian faces on it. Again, none of them the same.
Can you talk a little bit about the like 3D aspect of your suit? Because there's like different types of Indian suits, right?
Well, when I was a kid parading, it was pretty much downtown Indians was 3-dimensional designs, and your uptown Indians there was patches. I think they would say panels. It almost looked like pictures, like somebody just took a picture, and they sold it, you know. And they're nice, Some of them are real nice with it. It looks good, but it was more of an uptown thing with the patches and the panels, and it was mostly plumes. Downtown Indians they had 3-dimensional designs, and they mostly use feathers, turkey feathers, with a few plumes here and there. But now since I've been home, I see where You actually got downtown Indians that use patches, flat designs and plumes. You have, to my knowledge right now, you have the hard head hunters. I think they're from out the Seven Ward. They use patches and plumes. Um, Nine Ward hunters, from out the Nine Ward, they use plumes and patches. They have a few other ones from downtown that use plumes and patches. But the games that was like mainly from the Seven Wall downtown, the yellow poker hunters, 3-dimensional turkey feathers, few plumes here and there, monogram hunters, black feathers, which is the game that I'm presently running with now, under my cousin Corey Ray for the chief, him and his queen Candy, his wife. And we 3-dimensional, we're feathers, turkey feathers and plumes here and there. But that's how it's always been. But now you have, like I said, it's a mixture. Uptown they might have, a few of them might have 3-dimensional designs on these suits that would mainly be patches. Just trying to mix some things up. But I guess with time, stuff's supposed to evolve, and starts to look a little different. Trying to preserve the culture, keep the culture and the tradition going. Instead of being the same and the same and the same, you have to, change it up a little bit. You have to evolve with it, just to keep it alive, to keep it going.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you constructed that 3D effect?
Well, you actually have what we would call technicians. There's some guys that have been around for a long time. Like, one of my uncle, Ernest Reed Hingle. That's who did all my dad's 3-dimensional designs. Another guy that helped me out, helped my dad out, Melvin Reed, call him Left. These guys are technicians. They'll sit around the table with some cardboard and cut it up and glue it and staple it until they get a shape of something that they really want. And when they get that shape, then it's on you to say, yeah, that's what I want. And then you just beading it, you sewing it. I'm talking about bead by bead. They call it soap opera needle. That's you sewing until your fingers start bleeding. And that's what you come out with. You kind of like see different things that you want to add to, like some details. Like on the faces, making the different looks. That's just something. Instead of having a whole red Indian face, you add some yellow and some white to it and make it look like an Indian face with some paint on it.
What aspect of your suit are you most proud of?
I don't have the eagle here, but the eagle that sat on my headpiece, I really felt like a lot of people slept on the eagle, didn't really get to see the eagle because my head was always moving. It wasn't just, somebody could just walk up on me and just get a good look. But if you really see any pictures of that eagle from the side, look at the eagle, look at the eagle eyes. I'm like, damn, how I found them eyes. Them eyes look real, really real. Yeah, but I like the eagle more than anything. But you ask 100 different people coming down the street, look like they might have 100 different animals. Some of them might like the cobra, some of them might like the leopard, the panther, the elephant, the lion. Like I said, some people like, man, you got 5 suits in one, man. Get it from my dad.
So you designed and constructed the suit?
Yeah, well, one of the technicians helped me put the pieces together for me to be able to start sewing on them. Melvin Reed, got to give him his props. Left. He's a real technician, man. He's been doing this for over 4 decades, over 40, 50 years. So he's like the mastermind everybody would want to work with, or would want him to work with them. Yeah. But like I say, you tell him what your vision is. You give him a little time, and you go back and see him. He gonna have like a 3-dimensional piece looking at you, and it's on you to kind of put that work in to beat him and make him really look like something.
Have you started on your suit for this season?
Yeah, and it's coming along pretty good. I'm like, when I look at my white suit, I kind of be like, hey, he did come out nice. And I see what people was looking at, you know, and I'm like, how can I top that? And I done actually mentioned that to a few people, man. How do I top that suit? And you know what they tell me? They're like, yeah, they looking at you, bro. They trying to see if you're gonna be able to top that suit. So I'm working on it already. It's coming along pretty good, and I think they might be shocked that this next suit might outdo that white suit. You know,
When do you debut your suit?
Mardi Gras did. Whenever Mardi Gras is, they change it up. I mean, it changes so much. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's late. You know, but Mardi Gras did. Try to be out there bright and early.
Where can people find you on Mardi Gras Day?
Probably coming out of my mama's house. It sits on the corner of Annette and Hope, so we'll be coming from under that carport that sits on Hope Street. Probably from there, walking to the Chief. Probably coming out on Frenchman Street where the Black Feathers come out at. From there, wherever the Chief going, that's where we going.
What's your favorite part about being a Mardi Gras Indian?
Hearing the music, the unity, the family, it's all, like I said, it's community, it's just a family thing, when you out there parade, everybody on one accord, singing, chanting, it just puts you in that zone, yeah, it puts you in that zone, and the Black Feather Hunters, the gang that I'm presently, the tribe that I'm presently running with, we actually trying to do some good things in the community. The community was always behind the Black Feathers. So we trying to reconnect with our community. Last month we did like a little cleanup, walk through the neighborhood, cleaning up, picking up trash and speaking with some of the people, letting them know we appreciate their support being behind us. And this month we are doing the voter registration, which I'm really fan on Huntersville this Saturday from 10 to 3. We'll be out there helping them out with that. The next month for our community service, we're probably gonna go under the bridge and feed some of the homeless people. We're trying to reconnect with our supporters, with our community. Let them know how much we appreciate them standing behind us and standing with us.
What's one thing you want people to know about Mardi Gras Indians?
It's a culture that's being cultivated by families. I mean, you would think the city is trying to cultivate it and preserve it, but it's not the city or any officials. It's the communities and the families that's keeping it alive, that's keeping it going. And just like Mardi Gras on Canal Street gets bigger and bigger every year, the Mardi Gras Black Mass and Indians, it gets bigger and bigger. You would think, or you would hear some people saying it looked like it's dying down, fading because a lot of people left for Katrina, and a lot of people didn't come back. But you still got a lot of newcomers that's getting into. I mean, since I've been home, I done witnessed Indians that actually just started parading when it was like in their 50s for the very first time. It's something that they probably been wanting to do and just never got around to doing it. And now they done got started. Now that's all they want to do, this late in the game. So it's here to stay. It's not going nowhere. It's family oriented. It's a community thing. As far as it's by us, we're gonna keep it alive. Doing it for the people, for the communities.
It's an investment, right? It's expensive to make.
Yes, indeed. But when I was a kid and my dad was, dressing me and my brother out and any other family member that wanted to parade, we was coming out of our pockets. For the most part, a lot of people still coming out of our pockets. Even when you have different organizations that's trying to give grants, but bring you through so much red tape. Sometimes you'll be like, man, look, I'd just rather come out of my pocket rather than trying to go through all of that red tape, you know. I mean, either you for us keeping this, preserving this here, and if you are, then you shouldn't have to be having us jumping over hurdles and this and that and that, you know, for your assistance. You know, so a lot of people still come out of their pockets, out of their own pockets, and it's not a cheap penny, you know, during this here, you know. I mean, some of the stuff you have to order, your beads, probably coming away from New York, even China, you know, your feathers, your marble, your tips. You know, most of that comes from out of state. Don't get me wrong, you have a few places here that have it, but the places here might be so expensive, extra expensive, you know, that you would rather take a chance and order them from China or New York or California, you know, different places like that. You know?
The only other thing I can think of is if you wanted to say something about Super Sunday.
I'll be out there. I'll be out there. Come see me. You know, you want to have a good time. You know, you want to see the pretty Indians downtown, uptown. Come on out there and participate. You know, come on out there and participate. You know,
Is it something for everyone to be able to see,
it's something for
or
everybody. You know, nobody is off limits unless you coming out there with some bull, some BS. Leave that at home. You know, since I've been home, I haven't seen an incident at a second line, at a Mardi Gras. You know, let's keep it like that. You know, it's about fun, about love. You know, it ain't about hate or war. You know, we out there having fun. You know, come on out there and have some fun with us. Mardi Gras Day, downtown, uptown. You know, uptown Super Sunday. You know, downtown Super Sunday, West Bank Super Sunday, St. Joseph night. You know, uptown, downtown, don't matter. You know, come on out, have a good time. Appreciate everybody's support.